What's up, everyone? This is This What It Is? And I'm your host, Gunvid. So, I want to start off the podcast by I'm kind of thinking of how I want to say this. I just want to say I'm grateful to the Lord for everything I have, and and just where I'm at in my life right now. It's easy to want more, whether it's money or cars or homes or clothes, like nice thing, jewelry, whatever it is, the worldly things in life. But at the end of the day, you realize you're not going to take that stuff with you to the next life. Or that's what I believe. Some people may think they can, and that's, I'm saying everyone has the right to believe what they want to believe. But me, I believe, what's more important to me in life, like I wasn't never really too into all these designer fashion brands and like getting these things. Yeah, it would have been cool, and there was a point where I did want it, especially like when I was younger. But then you like grow older and you realize that's not really important. And even then I knew, like, me, I didn't care too much about that because I'm like, I like wearing clothing that I can play sports in or just be comfortable in. And I just always viewed that as like, like these designer shirts, they're all like fucking so fancy and so nice that I feel like I wouldn't want to get it dirty, and I would just be like uncomfortable and not able to like walk in the grass, or like if I have like really expensive shoes, things like that, So with that being said, I'm just really thankful for all the skills I've been blessed with, the talent, whether it's music or art, like painting. Music is art, but yeah, like painting, drawing, hip hop, designing shoes. I have a fashion brand, poetry, writing books. Like I do so much, and I don't just do all these things to chase money. That was never the objective. Since I was young, I loved art. I loved to paint when I was introduced to it in school, and drawing in my book, in my notebook. Like, I would spend a lot of class time drawing instead of like taking notes and stuff. I did take enough notes to like learn like what I had to do, but like there was a lot of time where I would like draw and like really want to develop my skill and just have fun with it and just be pure and be great at it. And I did. I've achieved many great things in my life. So I'm so thankful for that, and thankful for the path that I chose. And sometimes it gets confusing because it's like some of the things I didn't really expect I'd be doing, like making music, but like, it's like we have free will, but then they say the Lord has control of everything. So it can get kind of confusing because it's like, is God controlling everything, or do I have the power to make things how I want them to be, or just things like that. It gets really complicated, but at the end of the day, I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, so they said God is in control of everything. Maybe what happened was, and maybe what that means is, God controlled and God created the universe and all of us, right? But then he gave us free will. So I feel like now God is controlling everything as far as nature and the universe, the stars, the sun, and we have control of our lives to do good or bad, to sin or not to sin. And maybe that's how it is. Maybe that's what that means. And I feel like that's true. But sometimes I just don't know. Sometimes, like, you'd see horrible things happen in the world, right? And then sometimes it can make you mad at God because it's like, oh, God, why are you letting this happen to these people? Or why are you doing this to me? Why are you putting me through this illness or pain or financial hardship? And it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to get mad at God and, you know what I'm saying, and lose faith in God and want to believe that there is no God. But then I feel like when you look at things the way I explained it before, the way He's in control of nature and we have control of our life and to manifest things we want and for life to be the way we want it to be, like to be happy in life, to be content. So yeah, I feel like that kind of makes things more understandable and gives me a little bit of clarity, and it might give you clarity in your life and the questions you have about God and the world and the universe. So yeah, I just want that was something that was really on my mind. And before I started the show, this episode, I was just like kind of having anxiety because I didn't know how to put it into words, but I feel like I explained it in a good way just now. So yeah, also like something I wanted to talk about. I discovered this really amazing podcast on YouTube. I just watched the first episode earlier, and it's these two beautiful, I mean gorgeous Christian women that um you know, they were saved. They say they were saved by Jesus, and it really helped them. And I think that's so beautiful. You know, like I believe in a different religion, but I can see the good in other religions. And you know, I'm open minded to know that maybe you know, maybe another religion is correct, but I do believe in my faith. But I think it's so beautiful to see that um how God helped them in their life. They were talking about how they're, you know, they weren't perfect when they found God. They were like dealing with alcoholism, like problems with drinking and how they had to drink and how, you know, because it was normal in their culture and how they grew up. Um I mean, like when they were adults to go out and drink and have fun and party and you know, all that stuff. So, and then they realized at a point in their life, like things got difficult, and they turned to the Lord for help. And just the amount of help God gave them, as far as like not stressing about money or about getting a new job, like a new gig or whatever. They said they were actors and stuff like that. So I think that's really beautiful. I think their relationship is also really, really beautiful because they're like telling each other like, "Oh my God, I love you so much," and like constantly telling each other that. And I love to see women support women, you know, because I mean, I support women for sure. I support women's rights to have freedom and live the way they want, you know? So, yeah, it's just dope to think about that. And I mean, not just think about that, but like, as a man, you view women, like traditionally, we view them as not, I don't know how to say this. Maybe like that they should be like housewives and they shouldn't be so independent. That wasn't really my view, but like traditionally, that's how men have viewed women. And I feel like women should have freedom and they should be supported by men to, if they want to be independent, like to be independent and just live life how they want to live. You know, there's so much bullshit that men put women through, and especially historically, like, you know, as far as being free and being able to express themselves and this and that. But I want to say I support women, and I think their relationship is really dope. Not only do I support women, and I think more men should support women, but I think it's really cool and awesome that they can have that friendship and praise the Lord together and this and that. So I wanted to talk about that real quick and just say that men should have more respect for women and just, you know, stop judging them so much. Like, it's like you see women who do OnlyFans and people talk mad shit about them, but it's like, yo, that's their choice. They have a right to make a living that way, whether it's making, you know, sexy videos or, you know, they're beautiful women and they're showing off their beauty. So what, you know? I don't think that's wrong or whatever. But, you know, everyone has a right to their opinion. I'm like trying to think about what I wanted to say next. Just yeah, I just wanted to say it's awesome. To praise the Lord and to be thankful for where you are, and just having God in your life gives you so much like happiness in your life, and way more than any of that any devilish activities will do, whether it's like sinning, you know, in general. Like you can go out and have fun, but I feel like the good feeling from praying, you know, and praising the Lord and thanking the Lord and asking for forgiveness, and just that process of praying and that good feeling you get after that, I feel like that's much more better than going out to the club and having fun like that, or like sinning in general. Not that just going out to the club is a sin, but I mean, like, I feel like drinking alcohol is a sin. It is in my belief. So, and what it leads to sinning usually. So, just in general, doing bad things for the good feeling is not nearly as good feeling as praying and things like that. And yeah, another thing about that podcast, I like how chill they are. You know, I feel like men, we're so like, "Ugh," like we're so like fucking, like we gotta be tough, you know, and then it leads to us being like having anxiety and like always like having to be a tough guy and like to get through the hardships in life and like survive. You know, there's many men in the world that will try to test you and try to fight you. So we have to be strong and like be ready to fight. But I feel like this is what I love about women. They calm us down and they get us to chill out, you know, like it's like fuck, you know. I love that about women, and I also love how much wisdom they have as far as the world and the universe. I feel like they know so much that men don't, and they have that womanly intuition that we don't have. So I learn a lot from women, and I believe they're very, very intelligent and knowledgeable as far as life and the world and spiritual energy. So I'm thankful for that. I love you women so much. You make life so much better. You make it worth living. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at beautiful women and I don't just sexualize them. I know I say like crazy things in my music, like party when I'm making a party song, like a song for women to dance to. I do talk crazy about them, like sexually, but that's for that time and place. That's for, like for the club. That's for when women want to dance, you know. So I don't feel like it's such a bad thing, but I don't try to sexualize women. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I do like if I do say something that sounds sexist, it's a joke, and like I do add a lot of comedy in my music, but um, yeah, I'm thankful for all the wisdom that women have given me, especially recently, like watching more podcasts that women make and videos and like blogs and vlogs and shit like that, travel blogs. So I think that's dope. Shout out to all the women and um, keep being strong and keep supporting each other because it's a beautiful thing. Like amongst women, there's a lot of competition, whether it's for a guy, you know, like you hear women on songs and shit saying like they'll take someone's man, and that happens um, in real life too, not just on music. But like, you know, men are the same. Men will be like, "Oh, I'll take your girl," and there's a lot of competition. But I think it's beautiful when women support each other and you know help each other. And pause, even when men help each other and like you know they help each other out in life, like as far as giving them motivational speeches and helping them become greater and get through tough times, whether it's financial problems or problems in their career. I think we should all help each other more, and that's what I'm focused on. I want to be more positive with my music and my art and everything. So, yeah. That being said, I'm gonna light up this joint, and we're gonna talk about the next topic. So the next topic I want to talk about is like cursing and saying bad words. Like I feel like yeah, like to a certain extent, it's not good to curse at people. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel, like I said, we should be helping each other, but um, I feel like not all curses are bad. Like curses, curse words can have many different meanings, and you know what I'm saying? Like if you call a girl a bad bitch, you're not meaning to be disrespectful. You're complimenting her on her beauty, and some women understand that, and some don't. And I understand they have the right to feel disrespected, but like the word fuck, you know, people look at that word and be like, oh my god, it's such a bad word. But I don't think it's such a bad word if you're not using it in that way. Like if you say, like, I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? You're not really fucking doing the worst fucking thing in the world. It's just expression. It's not meant to be so disrespectful unless you mean to use it that way and unless you are using it that way. But, you know, I just think people should have more freedom of speech and like don't be tripping out if you hear someone curse and they're not being so fucking rude, you know? Because people are gonna fucking say what they wanna say. But yeah, I promote peace and I promote goodness, and I don't say that to try to be like, oh yeah, I'm better than anyone else. That's for God to judge, you know? When I say, like, I've been making a lot of diss tracks against people who worship Satan. But, you know, I feel like that's what you're fucking supposed to do. When you see someone trying to promote a gay agenda and, like, force that on children and sexualize children and even fucking, like, these people are raping kids and raping women and bragging about it. And it's like, what the fuck? You know? So yeah, I don't think that shit is all fucking bad that I did that, but I kind of forgot what I was saying, but yeah, like what the fuck, you know? So yeah, I'm not when I'm doing that, that's what I wanted to say. Well, when I'm doing that, I'm not just judging them. I'm judging their character. Yeah, you have to be a good judge of character, but ultimately, I know the Lord is going to judge all of us, including me. So I'm not judging you in that way and being like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You don't have a right to repent and start being good. What I'm saying is I'm trying to wake them up and being like, yo, this is not cool. And life doesn't last forever. All the money you're getting from doing these things, good luck trying to bring that with you to the next life. What I would recommend is repenting to the Lord. I do the same. I ask for forgiveness and not following Satan. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. I'm not trying to judge. I'm not the ultimate judge. God is. And yeah, it's easy to say, oh, I'm not perfect, but I do. Every day I work on myself. I try to be better and I pray and all that good stuff. So yeah, I promote the same. Be good. Whatever religion you believe in, try to go towards the goodness in life and doing good for people. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we should be more unified in the world. I understand people have love for their country, but we shouldn't be fighting each other, man. Whether it's countries or individuals, we got to do better because we're all made by God and we're all going to go back to Him after we die, whether it's heaven or hell, you know. But I do feel like everyone has goodness in them and everyone is controlled by the devil at some points in their life, and the devil works to bring us down and make us sin. But we gotta, when you realize the devil is real, it makes it easier to not sin. And you recognize when you have a bad thought, like whatever Satan tells you to do, when you realize Satan is real, it's so much easier to not sin and just be like, just understand it for what it is and go to God for help and guidance. Because He will guide you. Whether it's giving you messages directly in your mind or having someone else speak some sense into you, the Lord will guide you to the right path and the good path and the righteous path if you go to the Lord for help. And that's on you to do. And that's on me to do as well. And I've been at peace, especially the past couple weeks, you know. and it feels great. So I know this is a sports podcast. I'm usually talking about music or sports, but today I wanted to talk about God, and you know, this is my podcast. I can talk about what I want to talk about, and I don't want to. I don't have to explain myself, but I'm just expressing myself. That's the word I use. You know, because I live life unapologetically. I know the Lord is going to be the one to judge me. So I live freely, you know. I don't care too much about what people think about me. I do to a certain extent in business. You want to be professional, but as far as being judged by others, I don't really give a fuck. And it feels great. It allows me to create music so freely, and I love it. You know, I think my songs are amazing. I really enjoy them, and I've been getting good feedback lately. Other people enjoying my music and art, and that's what I do it for. You know, I can just freestyle to myself, and I don't have to record it, but I do it. I do that part of it for the people to learn from and be entertained by. You know, so. And also teach people about history and the world and motivate them to be greater. So UFC, I believe it's 304 is tomorrow. It's gonna be Edwards versus Muhammad and Curtis Blades versus Tom Aspinall. And I gotta say you gotta watch that fight. It's gonna be a really, 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 really great fight. Great fights, I gotta say. And yeah, it's just really interesting. Like, this is one of the best parts about being a fight fan. It's the build up to the fight. It's thinking about all of the different ways that the fight could go. That's why I love to predict fights and doing this podcast, because, you know, especially when you understand how to fight, you have like a deeper knowledge of all the intricacies of the technique and the skill and how difficult it is to be great. So when you see these matchups being made, it's like, I can't wait to see the fight. And then you see the fight happen, and then it's like, whoa, this is fucking dope. Especially if it's a good fight, you know? And then the aftermath of the fight and the post-fight interviews. I gotta say, the UFC does a great job as far as the promotion and just the layout, how they have everything set up. They're doing a great job. And yeah, I really love how Dana White, he doesn't censor the fighters and he gives them freedom of speech, because like the NBA, they'll fucking fine you for like cursing and shit like that, and it's like, what the fuck? And then you see the crazy shit that these fighters say is fucking hilarious. So shout out to the UFC for that. Keep it up. Let these fighters say what the fuck they want to say, because fighting is a really dangerous sport. It's a really dangerous sport. You know, these fighters, they sacrifice a lot of time away from their family just to go into a fight and maybe lose their life. So it's only right that they get their freedom of speech, you know, and they don't get fined for that shit. Because the NBA, they'll fine people like $50,000 for saying some shit. And in the UFC, that's some people's whole fight purse. And they be saying crazy ass shit. And even rightfully so, the UFC can fine them for saying these